right, so moving on to our next topic, the Xbox price hike. So I definitely understand that anytime things get more expensive, we have a tendency as a society to just freak the fuck out. Netflix raises their prices, Disney Plus raises their prices, HBO Max raises their prices. Like we get it. Like at some point, the price hikes have got to stop. But I do think that in this particular instance with the Xbox price hike, I think it's a huge overreaction by people. Like so many people freaked out about the Xbox price hike that they went out and the site crashed with them trying to cancel their Xbox Game Pass memberships. So I really I want to take a second just to think about this logically, right? Because for me, my background, I came from a retail background. I was a district manager for several chains of retail stores, and like that's my personal life, that's my background. In my professional life, that's my background. And when I think of price increases, like most of the time they happen just because of elements that can't be controlled by the company itself. So like me working for lids, for example, anytime that we raised the prices on our hats typically came because the teams that we were licensing through raised their prices. So we had to raise our prices, right? Because you still got to be able to make money. With this Xbox price hike, I think that that it is, when you look at the value you still get out of the Xbox Game Pass, I think it's a clear overreaction, because when you break it down, you're talking about $30 for a month for the Game Pass Ultimate, right? So that's what I pay right now. I pay $30 a month. So I'm going to stop right there for a second and just say that I'm roughly about halfway through my gameplay of Expedition 33. And I am playing that for free because of my Xbox Game Pass membership. Now, I know that I'm playing it a little bit late. Obviously, it wasn't free. The game wasn't free whenever it first came out. I'm playing it after the fact, but still, at the end of the day, the Xbox Live Game Pass membership is a great value for me alone, just because I'm playing a game for free that I otherwise would have had to spend $60 or $70 to be able to play. But let's break it a little bit further, right? So, according to the internet, right? Internet's always accurate. The average Xbox Game Pass user plays an average of 5.7 games per month. So if you break that down, even if we're just conservative, let's just say 5 games per month. If we're just conservative with that 5 games per month, that's 60 games throughout the course of the year that the average Game Pass holder is playing. Not that they have access to, because there's over 500 games that they actually have access to. But we're talking about them playing actually 60 games per year on average. $6 a game. $6 a game. And if you really want to break it down even further than that, most games take roughly 10, 15, 20, 30... I mean, in the case of Expedition 33, it's going to take me 50 hours of gameplay to get through it. And so when you're breaking down the cost of an Xbox Game Pass versus the cost of just an average game when you go out to purchase it, whether you download it or you purchase it outright like a GameStop or whatever, the value is so significant for what you get. And so I think it's a clear overreaction for the people wanting to rush out and cancel. Now, I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money. Like, you've heard my story before if you've listened to my podcast. Like, I came from nothing. Like the fact that I'm able to sit here and talk about $10 is nothing for the increase of the price hike for Xbox, like, that just means that I busted my ass to get to a place in my life where that $10 wasn't sweating me, right? So I'm not telling you how you should spend your money, but if I'm being honest, if that $10 is a problem for you, you probably shouldn't own an Xbox in the first place. And I'm not trying to be an asshole there. Like, I'm just being real. As a kid, I grew up with no video game system, and the first one that I got stolen from our house literally like a week after we actually got it. Like I didn't grow up with those things, and so because $10 was important to us, right? So when you're looking at the value you get for your Xbox Game Pass membership right now, and looking at yeah, I get it. Price hikes suck. Like I'm not debating that. No one wants to spend more money if they don't have to. Um, it's a clear overreaction. It just really is. Like it needs to, like Xbox. Let's just face it. Xbox is, they're kind of dying, right? Like they are clearly, I think they're clearly third in the video game wars, right? When you're talking about PlayStation, Nintendo, and Xbox. Um, and I think that this is their way of being able to try to continue to make money. There was also rumors with Xbox that they were looking at getting rid of their system altogether, and like just solely going as a subscription based video game service. And I could see that down the road actually happening with them. But like let's just be real. Like, and I guess the topic actually stems from the fact that, like, if you saw one of my recent editorial videos on my YouTube channel, GameStop came out and was like trolling Xbox over the price hike, which I thought was comical because GameStop, like, know your audience. Like, if you're trolling people based off the prices of what you're paying for products, then I think that's pretty pretty silly. But with all that being said, right, I think that Xbox, do your thing. If you've got to raise it up, but honestly, I think the value that you get at $30 is pretty significant, and I don't really see the issue here. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Put in the comments. Let me know. Did the price hike upset you? Did you hate it? Do you mind it? Like, what do you think? Because ultimately, I think at $30 a month, the value and the access of all the video game libraries or video game library that you get with it, I think is unreal. So much so that I don't even own any of the games for my Xbox. Like, I bought my Xbox about a year ago, and I've never bought a game for it. I've always just found something on the Game Pass, and I've played some great titles so far. Again, Expedition 33, which is turning out, I mean, I can see why people were calling it Game of the Year. I've also downloaded Final Fantasy 16, not paying a dime for it. I've also downloaded and played Indiana Jones, the new Indiana Jones games, which was a little bit of a bust for me because I didn't realize it was first person, but whatever. Glad it was this part of the game that I downloaded from my membership and not actually like one that I spent money on, right? So again, I think the value is there. So let me know in the comments, what do you guys think?